So it was a great pleasure for me to have all of you in this webinar. So this particular webinar is basically for covering the what are the questions. So people have a lot of questions related to the bioinformatics field. So they are not aware from where they can start, what are the options they can pursue. So to solve all the questions, so this is a webinar related to those topics, and at the end of webinar you will have a lot of information and you will have the answer for all the questions. So try to be with me in this complete webinar. So coming back to the first slide, that is my background. So myself, Ashwar Chaudhary, and I'm from Patna, state Bihar, and I did my bachelor's in botany from Hindu College, University of Delhi. And after completing my bachelor's, I went to IIT Bombay, where I did my master's in biotechnology. Then after completing my master's, I have joined Strand Life Sciences, which is a well-reputed company in India in the genomics field, where I'm working as a scientist. So coming to this particular important point, so the entire world of biotech is divided into two categories. So one is one bucket falls under biology category, and one bucket falls under technology category, tech category. So for example, those persons who are a true biologist, so they have different options, like they can go for the academia, like they can choose a career option as a teachers, they can go for as a researchers, they can opt for a PhD position, even they can work as a scientist in the wet lab. So in the tech part, we have to develop the pipeline, build the infrastructure, do the automation testing. So we have a different roles. For example, software developer, IT sector, software engineer, and automation testing. So you may ask this question to me, like in which category you are playing the role. So the computational biologist is acting like a bridge thing. So they have the knowledge of both biology plus tech background. So they have to cover both bio knowledge and also the tech part. So this is the beauty of computational biologists, because they have knowledge of both domain. So you may ask, okay, let's see with an example, what are the roles and who does what kind of job thing. Okay. So for example, if I'm saying you are coming from a biology background and I gave you a task, okay. So what you have to do, I'm giving you the FASTQ files and you have to map it with a reference genome. Okay. So you know the biology background, you know the RNA, you know the strand, you know the forward reads, reverse read. Okay. But you are not aware of how to write a code, how to write a script, or how to use the command line to run the pipeline. Okay. So you are not able to perform this task. The same task, if I'm going to ask a tech people, if there is a software developer or there is a IT people, they can run the pipeline because they know the coding, they know that how can write the script, they run the pipeline, okay. But they are not aware of the output. Is the output is correct or is the output is incorrect? Because they don't have any background related to biology. They don't know RNA, they don't know the forward reverse strand, they don't know whether sequencing ends it is pair end or single end. So they are lacking the knowledge of biology part. So here we comes into a picture. If you are performing a computational biology role, means you know the biology plus the technical part, so you can easily perform and run the pipeline, do the analysis, and you analyze the data by your own. So you know the background and everything. So this is the role that is played by any computational biologist, bioinformatician. So you can ask, uh, is it for you are coming from a biology background or you are a research student? So is it easy to switch into bioinformatics field? So I will say with an example. For example, you have a smartphone. So let's say you have a smartphone and you have two options. So if you have to give a smartphone to your grandparent and So they might be able to use some basic features, for example, calling features, and they might not be able to use advanced additional features like video calling, using WhatsApp, Insta, and installing different applications. If the same smartphone you are going to give to a 3-year kid, they are going to explore the entire features, and they also learn all the things. They know how to use Insta Reels, they know how to use the YouTube, they know how to use the camera, how to unlock the phone. So the question comes, why there is a difference. So the difference is basically the interest part and the requirements, because the grandparents does not have any requirement to know and learn the advanced features, because they don't have any use of using camera, video calling thing, installing different applications, Instagram, Facebook thing, and how to use other smartphone. Okay, they simply have to just do a call to their children and everything, but the children has the curiosity to learn new things. So same way, if you are a biology student or research student, you can easily switch to a different background. The only important point is you should show some interest. You should have some enthusiasm to learn those skills, because adding new skills in your skill set is not a rocket science. You can easily learn and apply those skills to analyze any kind of data. So this is a big question when you are in bachelor's. So you have a lot of questions related to, okay, right now I'm in bachelor's, so should I so after completing my masters, should I go for a PhD position, then jump into corporate world, or should I directly jump into a corporate world after completing my masters? So both the ways has different pros and cons, and I'm not showing like after MSc PhD is not a good option. Yes, PhD is also a good option, but it depends on a lot of factors. We will discuss what are the factors we can also look for that path before deciding the career path. Whether I can pursue my career after MSc, or whether I should go for some higher research or higher study. So let's take with an example. So what you have to do before you join a PhD. So what are the important factors? So it totally depends on many factors. On which country you are going to pursue your PhD, what is the duration of your PhD, because the duration of PhD depends on because in many countries the duration of PhD is like 3 to 4 years. In other country it might be 7 to 8 years. So you have to look for those things also. And the project topic, for example, you are working in the field of protein chemistry or protein biology, and you have an expertise to do the NMR analysis or handling the cryo-electron microscopy thing. And then in future, you are looking for switching into a background of bioinformatics where you are going to analyze the sequencing data. So your skills is not going to map with the requirements that is company is looking for. So you have to look for those companies where your skill set is matching, whether the requirement for the people who is good at handling the electron microscopy, who is good at handling the NMR data. So you have to look for those things also. So project and PhD topic is very important. What are the skills you are going to learn in the entire PhD career is very important. And also you can learn other skills if you are really interested to build your career in the bioinformatics field. I'll tell you what are the domains you should explore before jumping into the bioinformatics field. And the next is financial support. If you're going for a PhD position, you need some financial support, because you have to uh, uh, book an appointment for visa thing, you have to book your flight ticket, you have to have some cash in hand for the first month, then only you will get the stipend. Yeah, PhD is like in PhD in abroad, they will be paying high stipend thing for doing the PhD thing. So that is a plus point. But there are also different pros and cons for doing PhD things. So if you ask, so from my perspective, so there are a lot of pros and cons in doing PhD or in doing MSc and doing job thing. Okay, so what is the best way? Like whether I should go for the option one, like completing my masters, then completing the PhD, and then jump into the corporate world, or whether I should go for the second option, that is from directly from master degree, I can jump into the corporate world. So the advantage is after completing your PhD, you can join the company at a higher level. So you can directly lead a team. You will be appointing as a senior scientist. You can get a position of manager thing. The second important is you will be having a doctor in your name. And the third point is you will be dealing the clients and doing the all the abroad projects. And the fourth important point is you will be having a good package or good salary. So there are a lot of disadvantages also. So for example, if someone is doing PhD and the PhD duration was 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 years, okay. So which is equivalent to the person who is completed his masters and right away joined the corporate world. So the work experience, they might have the same level. After working for 4 to 5 years in the same company, you will achieve this position. You will lead a team. You will achieve the senior scientist position. You will achieve the manager position. You will also match the salary thing. So it's totally depends on what are all your requirements, why you want to do the PhD. And the second point is there might be some scenario where the MSc student who has joined the company 7 years ago, they might get high package compared to the PhD salary, because it totally depends on the performance. Because if the employee is working very hard and the performance was very good, so they might get higher increment every year. Okay. The third important point or disadvantage is, like if you're doing a PhD, you should have some good publications, because in a company we are going to judge you based on your publication and your research project. So anyone can ask, if I have to apply to any companies, what are the skill set that is important to me? So before answering this question, you should ask, okay, where I can fit. So to know, okay, at which position I'm a good fit, you have to first look into the company structure. So what company actually do and their team structures. So basically the company is divided into two categories. So the different broad jobs in the field of wet lab, where you can see there are different positions for the junior and senior scientists. There are many open positions for intern, molecular biologist, lab technician, microbiologist, lab chemist, and QA team. Okay. And same if you look for the different broad jobs in the field of computational, you will see a lot of job openings in the field of software developer, scientist, bioinformatics engineer, QA team, support team, and marketing roles. But you have to decide which role is suitable for you. So you should know the skills required to achieve this position. So whenever company is posting any job requirements, for example, company has an open position for software developer or for the scientist role, for example. So every time they had this information, the job description and the job requirements. So in the job requirements, they mention, okay, we are looking for a person who has a background of coding. They know coding thing. They know how to handle the database and this information. Now you should look for that whether I have those skills or not. If I don't have those skills, I'll start preparing to add those skills in my skill set. So these are the skills. So I was saying Linux CLI and shell scripting is important domain. And the second important domain was the coding skills. Everyone should know one coding language, or Python or C programming. Anything is okay. Whatever you feel comfortable, you can learn those coding skills. The third domain was Angest data analysis. So Angest data analysis means the data coming from high throughput sequencing. Like there are different kind of RNA sequencing data, single cell data, spatial data, whole genome sequencing data, metagenomics data. So these kind of data comes under Angest category. The next important domain is statistics. So statistics is very important because you have to perform different testing like hypothesis testing, t-testing. Are you aware of p-value, q-value, how to do the correlation regression test? So these comes under the statistics domains. Okay. Now coming to Angest platform. So there are different platforms, those who are generating the data. For example, 10x Genomics, Seeker, and the Illumina. So you should know the background of those sequencer things, and you should know the data structure. Okay, for example, if I'm going to use the 10x data, I know the structure they are going to keep. So I should aware of, okay, these are the input raw data. I have to process these data. Okay. The next important is database handling. So there are different database we should aware of. For example, if I'm saying you have to analyze the RNA-seq data, so there are different database from where you can download the RNA-seq data. Or if you have to download the raw file, that is the FASTQ files of any RNA-seq data, you can download from SR. So at least you should know, okay, NCBI has a database that we call GEO, Gene Expression Omnibus, where you can give the accession ID and get the data. And also in particular that database, you will find the information related to experiment, and also what are the extraction protocol, what are the pre-processing steps they have performed. Every information will be there in those database. Okay, so you should know like which database you can use to download the data. Next important domain is data visualization. So I was saying everyone can perform the uh, like run the pipeline and generate the results. But the important task is how good you are in showing the results and generating a good plots. That comes under in data visualization category. So whatever you are seeing in the red box, that is basically important domain skills that everyone should add this skill set in your resume. And then these ones are like basically you're going to learn this while doing some projects in the company. If you have a prior knowledge, that will give you a plus point, that will help you to uh, apply in any company, and it will help you to get a shortlist easily, and you can easily crack any interview thing. Then coming to the next point is, so many people has doubt, okay, do I have to be very good in coding if I have to switch from any research background to computational field? So I would say no, because uh, as a beginner, you don't have to be pro in the coding, because you are going to learn coding step by step. While doing different projects, you will learn different coding section. But before starting or switching in the field of bioinformatics, you should know the basic. Basic in the sense, you should know how to define a variable. You should know how to, what is the data format, data structure. You should know how to write the basic code. That will help you to write some basic codes and run a pipeline. Because even if you have to run a pipeline, you have to write a simple command line. If you are not aware of the command line, how you are going to run the command? So that's why I'm not saying you should be very good in coding, but at least you should know the basic of everything. Basics of Linux command line, basics of one coding language, basics of database handling. So it will be helpful for you when you start your career. Otherwise, you have to work hard to learn everything while doing some projects. So, for example, if you're not good at coding, so many people has asked, okay, is there any other options? For example, I tried and I find out like I'm not good at coding. So is there any other options? I would say yes. There are a lot of options you can look for where coding is not required or mandatory. For example, there are different posts. For example, QA, which generally do the testing of the pipeline, where you don't need the requirement for coding. Support team, which handles the queries of any user who has purchased the company tools. There you don't have to know the coding thing. But why you can't give a try for building a career in the field of bioinformatics or computational biology? If you're thinking you are coming from a different background and you did not get a chance of handling those kind of data, so I was at the same place. Even I was coming from botany background, so I had a no exposure that time. In my masters, I had a something like I have a course structures where I have learned this coding skills slowly. Then I did one internship. Internship is very important. If you are in MSc right now, please go for an internship. It is very helpful. Try to, if you are really interested to build your career in the field of genomics in the computational biology, try to look for computational internship so that you will have an experience to handle any kind of data. This is the first thing. So learning and adding these skills is not a rocket science. So simply because even like I was not aware of these coding things, but I have learned this steps step by step. So same way you can add these skills in your skill set. You can start practicing. The only important thing is you have to show the interest. You have to learn the new skills. You have to practice with some kind of project. If you are going to just remember the command, after some time you will forget those commands. So it's not the way. Like you have to practice with some kind of data. For example, I have to remember the basic Linux command. What I will do, I'll take one biological data and try to play with the biological data with the command line. Whether I'm able to fetch the information from the data, biological data using some command line. For simple example, if I'm working with annotation file and I want to fetch the coding regions, I can use the command lines. There is a command called grep. Grep is used to fetch the pattern. So, okay, I know, okay, I have to fetch a pattern, so I have to use the grep command. Same way, you can link the commands where you have to implement those commands thing. So now coming to so this part is very important. So before completing the presentation, I thought to help you in the job search and the application part. So let me summarize the overall picture of the job industry on our domains. So you may have two options. Either you can apply in India or you can also choose and go for abroad. But there are a lot of pros and cons thing. So for example, if you are interested to apply in abroad companies, so they generally do not prefer to hire any beginner or freshers. So they only hire those people who has a work experience of minimum 2 to 3 years. Okay, and you have to show a lot of potentials and lot of enthusiasm to apply in abroad. You have to show like you are a good fit. But in India, you can start your career as a fresher. So what are the things you can show? You can show the skills in your resume and whatever the things you have done in your masters or in your internship, you can show them as a work experience in India. But in abroad, they are looking whether you have worked in any company for past 3 years or not. So this is the difference in India and abroad. Both are good. In abroad, the package and everything is very high, but the chance of getting job in abroad is less because you have to spend time in India to gain the experience 2 to 3 years. Then you have to look for the companies, and first you have to look for the country where you want to target. Either you are looking for the Europe part, either you are looking for the USA, London, and other countries. So some countries prefer to select their own. For example, if you are looking to apply in the Europe country, so they prefer you should know the German language. So they have this priority. So at least you should know some basic grade A, grade B German language. Same way in other countries they might prefer you should know their language thing. So you have to figure out, okay, if I am planning to go to this country, what are the requirements? What are the pros and cons thing? Or should I stay in India and do the same quality of work? So this totally depend on all of your requirements thing. This is the last and important slide. How to approach any companies and what are the skills needed to be there in your resume. So what you have to do, so you have to filter out all the companies in which you are interested to apply. So for example, you are interested to apply in the field of genomics. So you have to look for the companies who are working in the field of genomics. So you need to shortlist at least minimum 20 companies. Okay. Then what will be the next task? You have to get the HR email or the hiring team email ID either from their website. Okay. If the HR email ID is not available on the website, then what you have to do, you have to connect with the people who are working in that company, and then you should start a conversation. And so it's not always a good option to directly ask for any open position or could you please recommend for this particular position. It's always better to know their background, know their job profiles, whom you are connecting, and you can ask what are the skill set you are using in your job profile. Okay, then you will get an idea. Okay, these are the skill set he or she is using for this particular job profile, whether I should have those skills in my skill set or not. If you don't have, you will start preparing for those skills. Then after having these conversation, you can ask, is there any open position in your company? Okay. Then after having all the HR emails, what you have to do, you should draft a mail and start writing a mail to all the HR, adding your resume and ask for any open position. So for example, you are targeting for scientist position. So you can ask for scientist open position. Is there any open position for scientist role? And the next step is you have to take the follow-up after 2 to 3 days until you get a reply. Because many people are facing because they're working too hard to make a list of the companies, doing the screening part, making a new resume, adding those skills, and then writing a mail to HR. So it's basically like if you are working so hard, at least you should get a reply, whether it is a positive reply or a negative reply. That's a different case, but at least you should get a reply. So what you have to do, every time you have to send a gentle reminder, like this is a gentle reminder for the previous mail. So if they are going to receive these kind of email 4 to 5 times, at the end they have to reply, okay, you are not a best fit for the company or you are not suitable for this particular role, or they can simply reply, we don't have any open position. But at least you should get a reply from the HR thing, because you have spent a lot of time to complete the entire steps. So you should expect some reply, whether it is a positive reply or negative reply, but you should expect a reply. Okay. So this was my consideration thing.
Can we start asking the query?
Yes, please raise your hands and we can discuss all your queries. Yes, Nikita, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So I have the basic knowledge of coding, and I have a master's degree in biochemistry, and I would like to do internships. So how can I approach for internship position? Is it the same workflow that you explained?
Yes, the approach for the internship will be the same. You can look for an internship either in companies or any institute. The focus will be on learning the skills.
Yes, actually, I was talking about applying abroad because, as you know, I'm going there. So I wanted, so I do email professors who are working in academia. So, and I sometimes I don't get a reply back. Like when I ask them what are the projects they are working on, and they just say like in a small phrase that this is what they're working on. And when then I ask them, "Ki, what are the skill sets required?" I don't hear anything
What you
back.
have to So they are getting a lot of emails every day from students all over the world. And it's like a competition to get an internship or a PhD position either in India or abroad. So before targeting the professors, try reading their lab based profile to get some understanding of their work profile, and also they mention generally their publication in the lab page. So try to read those papers, get some content, their work culture, like on which projects they are working, and then show your interest in the lab project and ask and also you have to show them like how you can contribute to his or her lab research. And the last point is you have to wait for reply and try to take follow up, because at the end you should get some reply from the professors.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, Ashish. Good evening. My question is that I've heard that there are more companies related to bioinformatics in Bangalore and Pune as compared to Mumbai. So, what is your outlook on that?
Yes, there are a lot of NGS companies in Bangalore and Pune. Even there are companies in Delhi and Hyderabad. I'm not sure about the list of companies in Mumbai working in research and NGS field. It totally depends on you, because you are going to target the company, and after getting selected for the role you have to relocate to that place. So what you have to think about the opportunities available in those states, and also the cost of living and working culture, because you have to cover all these things before deciding in which state you are looking for. And because you have to at the end you have to relocate for your job profile.
Okay, Ashish. Thank you so much.
Hi Ashish, I'm a BSc Zoology student, final year. I have two questions. First is, can I go into the field of biostats or bioinformatics post my master's in life sciences, as I'm preferring to it? And what are the various job opportunities I might be having? Yeah, that would be my first question. If you can answer to me that.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, you are in bachelor's. So what I would suggest, first looking for MSc degree from a good institute. After completing the master degree, you will have a lot of options. So you can, so I would suggest spend some time to decide whether you want to go for research work. Example, for you want to for higher education PhD degree or jobs in the corporate world. If you're looking for a jobs, for example, in computational biology field, so there will be a lot of options, like 7 8 positions you can target, like scientist role, bioinformatics role, data analyst, QA role, support team, etc. So for all the roles, some of the mandatory skills are required. So start learning those skills in your MSc tenure, so that you will have a good resume compared with others, and there will be more chances to get a good job with a good package.
And so one thing, if I am not from the background of biotech, but life sciences or any of the domains of the life sciences, is it possible? But I have the skills, but my degree coincides with the life sciences.
So I feel the course structure is quite similar in biotech, life sciences, or bioinformatics. So there will be some differences in few semesters, yes, but you will be having a semester where you will be going to learn bioinformatics skills, molecular biology, and biotechnology stuff. The only problem is that many institutes do not add coding in any of the semester. But if you look at the course structure of IIT Bombay, so they have one semester for coding where they teach C programming language. Even if you're coming from a different background, so try to gain experience and do an internship in your college time. Try to build your resume step by step. So let's say learn all the basic skills and try to practice them with some projects. For example, if you are going to pursue PhD project in the field of molecular biology, then the professor expects that you should have some basic skills like handling genomics isolation, preparing media, preparing buffer, running HDS page, transformation, cloning, PCR thing, etc. Okay. Same way, if you're going to pursue a computational biology role in any company, they have some expectations from freshers that at least they should have some basic knowledge like one coding language, and you know how to use the Linux command line, any work experience in data handling. So these things generally company looks in the freshers thing and the potential.
Okay, and my second question goes like regarding the biostatistics part. Basically, in the college level, we use most of the time Excels. But what are the other softwares we should prefer? What the company seek for?
So I would not say software, but they are looking for skills in any one of the programming language, either Python or R. Then understanding of NGS data from various sequencing platform, either it is coming from Illumina, PacBio, 10x data thing, and also prior knowledge of some bioinformatics tools which is required to analyze the data.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
Hi, Ashish. It's Nikita again.
okay.
I wanted to know how did you learn NGS data analysis? Because right now I'm working on a small project and I want to learn NGS data analysis.
Yeah, so even I did not had data analysis skills before my master's degree. So whatever questions you have in your mind, I had that time. So you might correlate my story with your own story. So at that time, I only knew some bioinformatics tools like BLAST and CBI database, etc. And we use Excel to plot the experiment results in my bachelor's. Okay. I was from a botany background, so at that time I had not decided my career. Okay, I have to go for this particular jobs. I have to look for my career in this particular field. Okay, so in bachelor's, I came to know. Okay, IIT Jam is an exam where we have to clear the exams to get enrolled in IIT. Okay, I had both maths and bio in my class 12th, and to give Jam Biotech, you should have maths in your class 12th. Okay, so this is the pre-requirement thing. So I decided to give this exam. So I have worked hard to get some good ranks. So I have qualified both JNU and Jam entrance at that time. Then I went to IIT Bombay for my master's. So I'm very thankful for my IIT life because it was the turning point for me. So before that, I was not aware of the real competition in the market and the research field. The skills and resume have a lot of roles in getting a good job. So the life was so happening in campus in IIT Bombay. So I did one internship at National Center for Cell Science in Pune, where I have analyzed the Dal Lake water and lotus plant samples to find the microbial diversity associated with the samples. And is there any role they were playing in the medicinal properties? So this was my project title. So I was working. So that time I have used Data2 and KIME2 pipeline. So these tools we use to handle the metagenomics data, and these tools are R coding based on R coding language. Okay. So that time I learned the command line and R language by own. So I like using Google search and YouTube and learning from some free resources. And also every day I used to ask all my doubts to one PhD student who is doing PhD in computational biology, both C programming and R. So I know these two coding languages. Other skills like handling high throughput data like RNA-seq, single cell analysis, whole genome sequencing, we can say spatial data analysis, Nextflow pipeline, coding in Python, software development life cycles, whether you are doing using Git and GitHub repository, backend testing, and learning different frameworks. So these additional skills I have learned while doing while working as a scientist in Strand Life Sciences. So you have to do a lot of projects and you will start learning other skills while doing some projects. So I have completed many projects. I have completed many clients projects. So these skills were the requirement for completing those projects. So I was learning these skills. Now I have the expertise of these skills. Same way, you should have some basic skills before jumping into the corporate world, and then try to master the skills with a different kind of projects. So this is overall the my journey and my experience so far. First, I had one placement offer thing in wet lab thing, but I was not interested to go into wet lab part. So then after completing my masters, I was looking for dry lab work. So I was doing some screening thing and then applying in different companies. That time I had three offer letter, one from Strand Life Sciences, one from MedGenome, and one from Primas Life Sciences. So I have joined Strand, and till now I'm part of Strand.
Wow, thanks for sharing your experience. I have pasted a small message on the chat. This is what I'm working currently on, and I have a problem understanding how to use those tools. So for like a example, I am want to like work with FastP or WAP or samples tool, SAMS tool. How would you go? Like, what would you exactly do? Like, what I do is I type on YouTube and Google like how to use this SAMS tool or SAMS tools documentation, and I still find it difficult to use those
Yeah, so
tools.
the approach I used to learn is, for example, I want to learn SAM tools. So what I'll do some literature read and try to find where I can use SAM tools and why we have to use these tools. Then after reading from different sources or either from YouTube videos, I came to know that okay, we can use it to convert SAM to BAM files, BAM to CRAM files, and then we can also use it to visualize the content of the BAM file and CRAM files on Linux system. Because we can't, because this is not the human readable file format, BAM and CRAM files, so we can't use any editor to visualize the content of the BAM and CRAM file. Next thing is we can also use to do sorting and indexing of the BAM file. So you have to see whether these learnings fulfill your requirement of the task that you are doing. If yes, then go for the next tool. If not, then read more from different sources. For other
Sometimes
courses.
it's too complicated for a beginner.
Correct. Correct.
And I
So
feel that I'm wasting time. I go through so many YouTube videos, and then at the end, I get to know, oh, they didn't give or teach me the exact thing that I wanted, or maybe it was too complicated. So that's what I wanted to know, if this is what every bioinformatician or students go through, that trial and error.
So, if in simple terms, the bioinformatics domains does not have the fixed syllabus or chapter like we have in college. Okay. So, for example, there will be more than 50 to 60 uses for grep and awk command. Okay, in Linux command line. Okay. But I'll not go for the gaining mastery to learn all the 50 commands and their syntax. All might not be useful in the field that I'm working right now. So I only use 3 to 4 or 5, 6 options of grep command. So I learn those syntax and then I use those things in handling the biological data. Okay. In future, if I need to use other options or syntax of grep and awk command, so I learn that time. Why I have to learn everything before if I'm not going to use that part? So the same thing, because the domain is too vast, because someone is using for different purpose, you are using it for different purpose. So you have to look for your requirement, then try to learn the skills which is useful for doing the task that you're looking for. So this is my YouTube channel and the name of my channel is Bioinformatics. So where I'm posting the contents related to bioinformatics course. So recently I have added one domain lecture. So from zero, like from beginner basic command line to advanced command line, and how to handle the biological data with the basic and advanced command line. So please check out these videos and try to cover the first domain. Same way I'll try to upload others domain skills and lectures one by one.
Got it, got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I'll move to the next question. So Abhishek is asking how to start with bioinformatics. Okay. So the same answer. So you have to add up some of the skills in each domain. So what you have to do, you have to learn the basics of Linux, how to use the command line, how to use the basic and advanced command. Then you should know one coding language, and there are other domains that you should know. So like handling the biological database, how you can use different data, like how you can download data from NCBI, how you can use other tools like SAM tools, BAM tools, and also if you know like how you can use high throughput data, any prior experience in handling high throughput data, that will be the plus point. So what I did, so I have created a course structure, this one, where I have added all the domains and also added some information. What are the things you should know? Like for example, in Linux thing, you should know the basics of file system, how you can view and edit the files, how to use the basic commands like copy command, creating directory command, head tell command, clear diff command, how you can use advanced command, grep command, awk command, how you can write the shell scripting thing, how to run the if loop, else loop. These things will come in the domain of Linux and shell scripting. Same way, you have to, I have added for other domains also, like how to handle the biological database. So what you have to prepare for that part in coding language, what are the basic learning things you should follow. So try to follow this course structure, learn these things one by one, try to practice with some projects, then you will know everything. After 2 or 3 months, it will take 2 to 3 months to cover the entire topics, and then you can start applying to different companies. Okay, so there was one question, is there any open course? So no, like there is no as such open course for the entire domains. You will find some open courses, free courses for some of the particular domains. Within particular domain there will be subtopics. For example, there are a lot of couple of GitHub resources for RNA-seq analysis, coding in R, Python, these things, visualization. But the entire complete course structure is not available at any places. So, and also there's many paid courses, but I would not recommend because they are charging like a lot of money. So that I would not recommend. So you can easily learn these skills. And there are free resources. So I'll guide you how to get those resources. So try to follow my Instagram and this and try to follow my LinkedIn page, my YouTube channel Bioinformatics, and try to add in the WhatsApp group. So you can send a request. I'll approve your request to become the part of this Bioinformatics group, where I'll be sharing all the resources and materials so you can learn these skills.
Sir, is it mandatory to have a certificate for these coding skills like Python or R, or we can watch YouTube videos and then we can include it in our CV?
No, it is not mandatory. So many companies generally ask for certificate because if you are saying that you know Python or R language or any other coding language, then how the company will know? So there might be chance that you are doing some bluff. Okay, so to give a proof that you know coding, there are a lot of options. So if you are learning the coding skills from YouTube, then try to practice and do some projects, and okay, and then you can simply say to the hiring team, you can take the coding test or coding round to check my skills. Okay, if you do not have any certificate. Second, if you're doing courses from Coursera or Udemy, so don't go for certificate. You can simply take the screenshot of your dashboard, like what percentage you have completed for that particular course. You can simply show them. That will also consider as a proof, and no need for certificate thing. Or if you had some prior work experience like internship or in MSc thesis where you have used the coding skills, then simply mention those skills and details in your resume, like where you have used the coding skills on which projects and what kind of things, like you wrote some scripting, did some analysis with a complete pipeline thing, and the pipeline you have covered in Python or R. So these things you can mention in your resume. So there is no mandatory thing like you should have a certificate for the any coding language like Python or R.
It's clear to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi. Actually, my question is कि, because I'm just completing my bachelor's degree in just 2 months, and I want to do masters, but I'm confused ki whether I go for bioinformatics for my masters or for biotech. So just clear this question. This is a very basic question. Just want your suggestion for.
So I would suggest try to target for good institute for completing your masters, and then look their course structures, like what are the things you are going to learn in MSc thing. And while doing MSc, you can explore and build your skills, and you can explore other domains, try to learn other skills. So side by side, you can start building your resume while doing masters. So these things you can do. So totally okay if you're going for biotech or bioinformatics, because the course structures might be similar. Because also if you're going to pursue biotech, so there will be a semester where you are going to learn the bioinformatics course, practicals. You're going to use tools related to bioinformatics. And if you are going to pursue bioinformatics as a career in the MSc field, so you will be like having more semester related to bioinformatics, where you're going to learn skills related to coding and other using different bioinformatics tools to handle the biological data. But try to source totally depend on the few criteria. So first thing is, first decide your career, whether you want to look for computational job, or you want to go for some further studies like research field, whether you want to, okay, I am looking for PhD position, so after completing a master's I'll go abroad to do my PhD thing. So these things first you have to figure out, then try to complete the masters, and then build up your resume and start applying in different companies.
Like I will get the bioinformatics things in my last two semesters, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So what would be the scope for MSc Genetics? Yeah, so same thing. Like if you're interested for the wet lab part, so yeah, you can pursue your career as a scientist. So there are a lot of options, because MSc Genetics you are going to study like molecular biology and cell biology. So you're good in these two things. So we need these people so who are good in these skills. And also if you're going for computational part, so there are a lot of teams who are working in somatic color or variant findings. So you can jump into those teams where you are dealing with pathogenesis or mutant variation, or like somatic color, how the uh, this trio analysis, and there are different things you can look for. So like, yes, there are a lot of options.
Actually, I have a career break of 4 years. So, is it easy to start again from the scratch? That is, I have a little bit of knowledge on computer-aided drug design. The only course which I did as a workshop for 7 days. But I need to enter into other field of bioinformatics. So, from where to start? That is my question.
Yeah, so this is a good question, because every beginner has this question, whether you have the career gap. So to start from scratch, you have to learn the basic things, like for example, what is sequencing, how the sequencing is performed, what is Sanger sequencing. Try to learn the basics of the concept behind the molecular biology, like DNA is converted into RNA, mRNA, then it is converted into protein, transcription, translation thing. Then try to jump into other fields, like you have to build your career in the field of genomics or bioinformatics. So you need to add these skills. You need to handle the biological data using command line. So what you should do, you should start using command line. So you can start learning and practicing different commands, like how I can change to directory, how can create a different files, how I can create a directory, how I can use different tools in the command line, how I can install those packages. So these things you can learn. Then you can jump into advanced command, which is used to handle the biological data. So try to learn and practice. So the most important for every beginner is practice. So try to play with it. Don't try to just remember and like, okay, this is the syntax and this is the command. I'll learn and remember the things, then I'll be pro. No, this is not the way. You have to try and implement. So uh, in the corporate world, the implication is more important, how you're going to implement, because every day you're going to learn some new skills. The way you're going to implement to handle your data is very important. So try to implement and then jump into. So I have created a course structure. What you have to do, this is a course structure for every beginner. So try to focus on each domains, try to cover each domains one by one. I would suggest to start with this Linux thing. So I have created a one series for handling the biological data with Linux, basic Linux and advanced command. So this is the 4 lectures. So you can watch this video. So I have uploaded all the series on my channel Bioinformatics. So try to read, and so I have pasted the link in the chat box also. So what you have to do, you have to watch those videos, try to make some notes and try to practice with any biological data. You can play with any WAM file, you can play with any genome file, GTF file, and use the basics command, Linux command, advanced command to analyze the data.
And do you have any YouTube channels that you would recommend for the beginners?
Yes, there are a lot of YouTube channels that generally post the content related to bioinformatics. So I'll share those things. But also on my channel, I'm also posting all the contents related to bioinformatics field. So you can watch and learn those skills. I have
Can you
created a
please? Okay,
start.
thank you, Bioinfobite.
Yeah. So
And thank you so much for this session.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, welcome. And what I would suggest, whenever you are going to learn new skills, try to practice those skills. Try to play with it. Use some data and see how it is working. Okay, then this way you will learn faster. And also I would suggest try to focus on the cover the basics part. Don't go for advanced as a beginner. Try to cover the basics first.
I
Yes.
just wanted to say something to Saga. Saga, can you hear me? I completed this
Yeah,
course
yeah, yeah.
from Coursera, and it's a good way to
Okay,
start with
thank you so much. Thank you
bioinformatics.
so much, Nikita.
You're welcome.
So the next question is when the online classes will start. So I'll be taking free webinars on weekends because I only have time on weekends, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be taking some sessions on weekends to cover some basic domains like the Linux thing and self scripting and coding thing. Other things you can practice with the resources I'm going to provide. And also related to online classes. So last month, many people has approached me to start a course. So if many people were interested, so I can think of starting a batch. But as of now, what I have to do, like I'll upload the videos, try to record the content for each domains and try to upload it on my YouTube channel, that is Bioinformatics. But if many people are interested to see like seeking for guidance and my YouTube lectures, online classes thing, so I can think of starting a batch where you can learn all the skills related to each domain. But you have to let me know like your interest, your requirements, then only I can figure out to build the entire structure. So next question is there any companies in Chennai? So I'm not aware of what are the companies in related to bioinformatics or data scientists in the field of like in Chennai, but I can look for that part and will update you like what are the companies are there in the Chennai, and whether any training centers for the bioinfo with coding. So there might be many training centers they're offering those coding thing and courses, but I would not recommend because they are charging a lot of money. And for learning coding thing, there are a lot of online resources. So try to go for free resources because Google, YouTube has a vast resources for coding skills. If you want to do it from scratch, yeah, they have all the tutorials, all the courses, free courses available. So do not spend money on these things. If you are going to spend money on some certificate, that is totally okay if you're doing some courses from Coursera, Udemy thing. But I would not recommend to do it from somewhere else like the paid courses from some center or things. If you need guidance to how to start and from where to start the coding part, I can easily provide the supplement and resources for coding thing tutorials like starting from the scratch, how to learn the Python, how to learn the R. So yeah, I can easily provide, but try to first focus on free learning. If you're not able to, like, you need some guidance, then you can look for someone uh, or like a paid courses thing, but try to focus on free courses, because if you're able to manage, everything is available. You just have to focus on learning things. Okay, so don't have to spend money on that part. So the next question is it possible to get a stipend based internship, and if yes, then how we can approach? Okay, yeah, simply yes, we can apply for internship, and that might be the paid thing. So you can apply for internship in institution, means the colleges, or even you can apply for internship in companies. So generally, if you're going to apply in institutes, so they generally give you the things, like they provide the accommodation and the meal thing, okay, in their mess thing, but they're not going to provide the stipend. Okay, so this is also a good opportunity to learn, because when I was doing my internship in this National Center for Cell Science, Pune, so they have provided me the accommodation and the meal things, but they haven't paid, the internship was not paid. Okay, but I have learned a lot from that particular internships. Like, I have added many skills. Yeah, so you can go for those skills also, and you can go for that internship. If you are looking for internship in corporate world, yeah, that is totally paid thing. So the stipend might vary based on the company. So the minimum can be like, it can be 15 to 20K per month, and max to max it can be 30 to 35K, depending on like in which company you are going to work, what kind of work you are going to perform. You can also look for wet lab internship. You can also look for computational internship. Yeah, the approach will be the same. You have to prepare a resume, then list out the companies and list out the institute. Just write a mail to professors and the company HR, like you're looking for internship, and then yeah, you can start your internship. Yeah, so the next question is, what is the use of education if degree does not matter? Okay, so I was not saying this. So I was saying that if you are interested to pursue your master's, it does not matter whether you're going for biotech or bioinformatics. Like, okay, the course structure is quite similar. The only things that matters while going for the corporate world is the skills. Okay, if you have the skills, so even someone is coming from computer science background and they have the skills related to bioinformatics field, they can easily pursue their career in the field of bioinformatics. Okay. If you are from botany background, geology background, genetics, or life science, okay, and you want to become a developer, so you can start building, you can start preparing for those roadmaps. So what you have to do, you have to learn HTML, C programming, Java, JSON nodes, then DSA thing. So you can build these things. So what you have to do, you have to work a lot hard. So you have to work hard to learn those skills. You have to add those things in your resume. You have to contribute in some ongoing projects. You have to create your Git repository where you can put all your codes. Then you have to showcase, okay, you are a good perfect for software developer. Then you can target any companies. So the main motive was mine was, you can pursue any field in your MSc, but try to focus on it, like pursue any courses from a good institute, because good institute has a plus point when you're going to apply it to any companies. Okay. Second thing is, try to learn the skills, because the course structure is quite similar. So try to learn those skills, and also side by side implement to add other skills. Like, you can start learning the coding skills. You can start learning the cell script Linux thing. Okay. So this was my overall thought process. Yes, so the next question was like, is PhD necessary for scientific position? So it totally depends. For example, if you are going for PhD, so means you are going to focus on some minor domains. So you are going to gain the expertise on this particular field. Okay. Yeah. So after completing the PhD, yeah, definitely you will be getting a good position, like a senior scientist role. But if you are jumping directly from MSc, so yeah, you can reach to scientist position, but it will take some time. It will take like 3 to 4 years to reach to that position. Even you can simply apply, and if you have the skills, like you have done a good internship, and then your MSc project was also matching with the requirement, then yeah, you can simply target to scientist position. Yeah, because even for example, yeah, I'm the person like who had a good skills in the, like in the resume, like I have the exposure to the metagenomics handling and then handling the biological data in my MSc thesis. So I applied for this particular position and I got this scientist role. Then
year by year I'm moving to new position like scientist 1, scientist 2, scientist 3, and then I'll become senior scientist. Okay. Same way, if someone is coming from PhD degree, so they can simply jump to directly at a senior scientist level. Okay, so they don't have to start from scientist level. So this is the advantage of PhD, but it totally depends on, like I was explaining the PPT, it totally depends on like in which country you are going to pursue your PhD, the project's titles and the skills you are going to use in your PhD life, because that should map with the requirement that company is looking for. Okay. Yeah, sure, Nikita. I'll try to create the content on variant calling and somatic color pipeline, and I'll try to upload it on YouTube channels. And I'll definitely make some NGS projects and upload it so you can replicate and add it on your resume. How does this career gap matter to get into the companies? Yeah, career gaps basically it does not matter much. So what you have to do, you have to give a valid justification. Like, what was the reason behind your career gap? Is your health issue, or like you had some issue with your previous companies, or like other issues? Okay, because if you have justification, then no one is going to ask if you have the skills. So the only thing that uh, company is looking for, like whether you are capable for doing these kind of projects or not. If I'm going to hire you, so I'll look, okay, you have these capabilities and expertise, okay, and your skills are truly okay for me, and the skills are mapping with the requirements that I'm looking for. So yeah, I can simply shortlist your resume, and will invite you for the interview round. Okay, even if you have the career gap, no issue. If you have the skills, yeah, I'll definitely look for like. So the next question is it possible to do part-time job or work in bioinformatics while doing MSc? No, you can't. There is no option for doing part-time job or work in bioinformatics. You can look for internship, that is also a paid internship, but this there is no opportunity for like you are doing masters and also want to do part-time job. So yeah, definitely no. There is no options for this. There is one good question. Sakshi was asking, if someone does not have certificate but build projects on them and posted them on GitHub, is that will be beneficial? Yes, truly. So yeah, because at the end you have to showcase some proof. So I was explaining, either you can ask for, like if you're good enough, you can ask for, okay, you can take the coding round, but there is other alternate option is like you can create a GitHub repository where you can do a lot of projects. So whatever projects you are doing, like you're trying to replicate some other work or any pipeline, you can do it in your own way and try to post it on your GitHub repository and make it public, so others can view and see, okay, this is your coding style, this is your way to analyze the data, and how you organize the structure and everything. So yeah, it's good practice to contribute in open Git repository, and also try to post it on your GitHub, like whatever you are doing, any project, small project you are performing, so you can store it on your GitHub repository thing. So the next question is how to build up a system in Windows. So if you are using a Windows operating system to work with different tools and application, you can install different application. Like, one is mobile system to launch your local terminal and run any command line. So try to install mobile system in your Windows to write the codes and do the coding and editing part. So one of the good editor is VS Code. I generally use VS Code to write the codes, changing the, like write the code, organize the file structure, everything. So I use VS Code. So you can use the VS Code. And then, for example, you're working on any Git repository. So VS Code is very useful because there is a source tree. You can see the changes, pre and post thing. And also these two are sufficient for any user to work and handle any kind of data. So you can install these two, and other tools you can simply use MovaXterm to install, and the other packages and everything. So next question, does Strand Life Sciences provide internship and NGS data scientist analysis? Yes. Yes, we generally hire interns because in our company, people from different institute generally join for internship 6 months or like 3 months, or someone join for 8 months, like for dissertation, and like in MSc we have to do some dissertation or thesis project. So it totally depends whether you are doing in your institute or whether you are looking for dissertation in outside, either in other institute or in companies. I hope I have covered all the queries, and if someone has additional queries, feel free to connect with me. You can ask your queries either on LinkedIn, or even if you join the WhatsApp group that I have created, the broadcast thing. So you can join the group and you can freely ask your doubts. If you have still some queries or still something is not clear to you, feel free to connect with me. We can have a chat or call, so I can try to resolve all your doubts. So you can decide your path, like you can plan your career and everything. Because I'm happy to help. Because when I was a beginner, so someone has like helped me to face and come out with this problem. So same thing, I know you are facing this issue because you are a beginner. So I'm here to help you. So I'll upload this entire webinar. Please feel free to watch the webinar again. Try to make some points. Try to see, okay, these are the things I have to remember. These are the things I have to note down. These are the skills which are very important. So I have to work on these skills. Then also feel free to like and subscribe my YouTube channel so you will get the notification for all the upcoming lectures. I'll also post my LinkedIn account so you can try to connect with me, and there also I'll upload some posts so you can see and watch, and feel free to share with your friends. So if any students who is not aware of this course and course structure, so they can also learn if they are looking for switch from white lab to bioinformatics field. So this entire webinar and coming courses will be very helpful for them. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone to join this webinar. So I'm happy to connect with you, and I'm happy to share the experience and uh, answer you all your queries. So it will be very helpful for you also. So please watch the webinar and then try to plan and build your career. Okay, thank you and all the best.